The first objective of this chapter is to describe the meaningful ways that culture influences the chronemic and olfactic codes. Next, we will compare the communicative impact of different time orientations. The third objective is to learn how to explain the evaluative continuum for olfactory sense in human experience. Differences in encoding and decoding of nonverbal codes across interactions are notable, as well as subtle, to the untrained eye. Nonverbal communication not only reflects our culture, but also creates and changes the cultures in which we participate. People behave very differently from one another, as behavior is dependent upon cultural norms and expectations. Nonverbal codes are a result of cultural differences, particularly those dealing with smells and time. Smells have attached meaning or value. For instance, in Tamil Nadu, cinnamon, a major export of that region, has an abstract smell that conjures up images of prosperity and wealth. Nonverbal treatment of time in Spain influences both self and other perceptions of the Spanish culture. For instance, midday siestas as a manifestation of Spanish cultural attitude toward time. As another example, attitudes toward strong, unique smells in French cuisine may give different cultural meanings for jobs, tastes, or sexual intimacy. Nonverbal behaviors act as mirrors through which people encounter similar behaviors of their cultural companions as well as share experiences. We define one's culture using nonverbal communication that signifies membership in a cultural group. Nonverbal behaviors define individuals as belonging to a particular group or excluding others from that group. Nonverbal behaviors are an indication of membership status, as they serve as clear indicators of in-group and out-group status. Nonverbal expression of group membership can be influenced by one's cultural experience that then serves as an identity badge of sorts. Chronemics refers to the time-based nonverbal code that indicates one's attitude toward time. The biological determinants of the sense of time influence the content and nature of communication behaviors. Attitudes toward and appreciations for a unique experience of the passage of time differ between people across different cultures, as the conceptualization of time is culturally derived. The biological clock refers to a clock that governs biological rhythms based on time. For example, older mothers and fathers are less likely to produce genetically successful children, which highlights the idea of fertility countdown. The circadian rhythm in all humans is the body's regulation of hormones and other natural functions necessary to survive. It follows a 24-hour pattern, regulated by light and darkness cycles. It is responsible for 10% of genetic patterns of gene expression, and it is crucial for our body's daily functioning. Epigenetic clock refers to a lifelong clock in our body. It measures one's physical age accurately based upon the decline of DNA chemistry. Standard time or technical time refers to the scientifically based measurement and precise understanding of how time passes. Formal time marks standard time within a culture, in contrast with subjective time and chronological time. Subjective time is our own relative time, while chronological time measures the passage of moments along a continuum. Humans are not alone in acknowledging time, as researchers have found that even animals have a concept of time. Let us now consider the biases toward the past, present, or future. Time perspective is characterized by whether someone focuses on the past, present, or future. Past orientation focuses on remembrances of past experiences and relationships. Present orientation focuses on the experience of now. This orientation tends to have no plan or concern for the future, which is a predictor of risky habits. Individuals with a future orientation are less likely to procrastinate as they are focused more on the potential outcomes associated with future experience and are willing to experience delayed gratification. In terms of the division of work time, that is, time related to job or career. Committed non-work time is planned activities not related to work, while non-committed time focuses on what we do with our time rather than when that time occurs in our experience. Time horizon is a moment in time at which we will no longer exist, at least exist in our present manner or form. People often want something out of the days they live, and their experience around that passage of time can be influenced by their goals and values in life. Over time, many people become more competent in creating elements of their circumstances and controlling their experience of situations. From adulthood, they start to recognize larger social and cultural constraints. Let us consider a few concepts. Polychronism focuses on accomplishing many things at once, while monochronism focuses attention essentially on one thing at a time. In comparison, dual tasking and multitasking are focusing on a couple of tasks at once versus focusing on more than two tasks at once.
The activation of memory through scent is an immediate reminder of a place or a situation where the scent was smelled before. Olfactics refers to the nonverbal code for scent or smell. It is relative to one's lived experiences or cultural heritage. Personal experience often determines whether a positive memory is associated with a particular smell. The evaluative continuum is the positive or negative description of a smell, or somewhere in between. This continuum is often based almost entirely upon the meaning that one has ascribed to it. Microsomatic refers to having a poor sense of smell. Smell is an important sense because smell allows the reception of a range of important messages about people and objects. As described on the previous slide, here is a figure that shows an example of a person's olfactic evaluative continuum. The presence of scent is not always accidental or situationally caused because smell can be used to communicate information or set a mood. Smell creates a sense of place and experience. For instance, smell is often used in Disney parks to set a mood and to drive behavior or experience. Unnoticed active scents that often go unnoticed in North America include colognes or perfumes, deodorants, body washes, shampoos, laundry detergents, lotions, and hair products. Immersing more in a scent and getting used to that scent thereby make one desensitized to a smell after repeated exposure. That is called smell adaptation. Passive scents are smells that are often unintentional and are rarely at the forefront of our awareness, even if they influence our behavior in significant ways. On the other hand, body odor is the unpleasant smell of days-old sweat and the locker room-style odors associated with hard work and/or working out. Body odor is not intentionally selected for by the person who is smelly. Rather, it is gained as the result of physical exertion or a decided lack of frequent bathing. Body odor is a subconscious indicator of the health and activity level of others. As an indication of overall health, we can unintentionally let others know about our basic genetic makeup through barely perceptible pheromones, influencing the sexual interest of someone in us. And finally, scent signature is unique to each species, and to each individual mammal within that species. Reproductive synchrony, or menstrual synchrony, is an empirically weak phenomenon, likely due to olfactic scents subconsciously perceived. It is said that women living together often regulate their menstrual cycles with one another. However, the explanation for that is outdated. Nevertheless, conscious and subconscious perception of smell can influence emotions and basic biological functions. Overall, culture has a huge influence on our perception of time and scent. Our cultural assumptions inform how we perceive these nonverbal cues. It is important to understand time and scent because they convey messages and communicate mood.